Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Andrew here with another episode of Copy Spotlight. Today, what I want to talk about is a mistake, or what I think is a mistake a lot of B2B SaaS companies make on their homepages. And that mistake is basically to lean a little bit too heavily into these ideas of like making a dramatic transformation or a dramatic change. Don't get me wrong. You can absolutely use a headline that has some sort of, go from A to B type of structure. But what I'm talking about are the types of headlines that might be inducing a little bit of friction that we don't mean to induce. So let's go ahead and take a look at this example so I can explain what that means. So this is for a product or a company called Launch Darkly. I do not know a whole lot about this product. I just found the homepage and I've only looked at it for a few minutes. And I'm also not the target audience for this. So I think this, targets developers and people who build software and things like that. That's not something that I do. So, you'll have to bear with me because there are a couple of things that, are above my head. And so before I get into this, I should say a couple of other things. So, one, the team that created this has access to information, customer research, product knowledge that I do not have any access to. So, any critiques that I have or recommendations I have for, how I might tackle this, keep in mind that I don't have the same level of knowledge that the people who created this do. So take what I say with a grain of salt. Another thing is that, this is my opinion based on what I know about copywriting and human psychology. But, this isn't something that I can't take this and say that, this is definitely a problematic headline or something like that. Let's keep that in mind. So here's what I'm talking about is right here we have this headline, fundamentally change how you deliver software. Now, I fully believe that this product actually does this. Is that because I'm really gullible and suggestible? Probably. But, I've seen down here, there are people who in some of these testimonials, people really are saying things like we've completely changed the way that we deliver software. And so let's start there by saying that I fully believe that this is true. Where I see the problem is that this sounds like a lot of work. And for the very first thing for me to see when I'm encountering your brand is something that implies that I'm going to have to do a whole bunch of work to fundamentally change the way that I deliver software, might be creating more friction than the people who wrote this page would want. I could be wrong about that, but that is something that I've seen before. A lot of back in the day, I feel like it was really common for companies, B2B SaaS companies especially, to have their headline be something like, we transform the way people do blank, whatever that is, application security. We transform the way people, build software, whatever it might be. And it might be true, but it also might be inducing a lot of friction. So if I look down here a little bit, I see innovate faster, deploy fearlessly, and make each release a masterpiece. And I'm like, that does a lot more for me. This is really talking to some gains that I probably want if I'm in this target audience. Whereas this, true as it may be, is a little bit too much too soon. I'm not ready to think about how I'm going to fundamentally change this whole complex process. And delivering software, I don't know what size company this is for, but it's complex stuff. Like there are big teams that work on this with all of these different roles, all of these different developers and managers and processes. That's a lot. This just sounds like a lot of work. So what I did is I just did a tiny bit of research, just like looking down the page. I went to Gartner just to see like what their product category was. And I came up with a little bit of a rewrite that I want to share with you right here. So once again, before I share this, I spent a couple of minutes on this. I do not know this area very well. So again, take all of this with a grain of salt. I'm not saying that my version is necessarily better, but I do want people to think a little bit about, I want people to be a little bit more intentional and to remember that sometimes what we see as the biggest benefit of our product, which is that we're creating this fundamental transformation for them, is not necessarily the best thing to lead with. So here, with that in mind, here's what I came up with. All right, so here we have make each release a masterpiece. So this is from their own copy. I didn't write this. This is catchy to me. Do I know that this is necessarily the best thing to lead with? I don't. I haven't done any customer research for them. but it is speaking directly to a benefit that I want. And there's some stickiness here. Release and masterpiece rhyme. I remember this. Make each release a masterpiece. You might remember that too. Then I just tweaked the subhead here a little bit. So we have innovate faster, deploy fearlessly. Again, their copy. And then I just added this here. Do it with Launch Darkly, the ultimate platform for managing feature flags. Do I know that this is exactly how they want to position themselves? No, I found that further down the page. Ultimate, is that the right word to use? I'm not really sure. What I really wanted to do is, I hope you can see that. What I really wanted to do is just make it clear here that one of these implies a whole lot of work, and that creates friction, and friction makes me less likely to click the button. Whereas here, my opinion, this isn't tested, but my opinion is that this removes that friction, and we can build the idea of transformation and making this fundamental difference in how they deliver software. We can build that into the messaging hierarchy, but it's probably not the thing that we want to lead with. We don't want to start with, hey, you're going to have to do a whole bunch of work. And that's what this is implying, at least in my opinion. That's it. Hope you like this, and let me know what other kind of videos you'd like to see in the future. Thanks.